All right, let's get into this tonight. So tonight, Sandy, we're talking about, the control that is coming for us. Let me see what I can't get this off here. Here we go. There we go. All right. So, we see that there is, we can see it coming. And I think the big picture audience can see it coming. There is the wah-wah, the new wah-wah.
If you've watched this show more than once, I think that you can see something's coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can go back and watch a lot of movies and TV shows and see what's coming. Yeah. But here's what I want to show you something. So I want to go back to this right here, and I want to just sort of go back in time. This is very widely known. The name Johns Hopkins University also has a hospital there. Is very well known and respected in the medical field. Well, I want you to know that they also have something that they call, the website is actually called centerforhealthsecurity.org. Yeah. You can go there and look at yourself. And by the way, I want to try to link all these down in the options of the description so that you can go back and look at them later yourself and verify. Because that's a lot. There's a lot there. A lot of stuff. For sure. So we went back and we've been to this website many times before. I've covered this several months ago, many months ago. But what was the date here? October 18th, 2019. Yeah. The Johns Hopkins University and the Bloomberg School of Public Health had something called the Tabletop Exercise Event 201. Now I'm going to read a little bit of this, and then we're going to talk about it. Yes. This training tabletop exercise is based on a quote, in quotations, air quotes, fictional scenario. The inputs experts used.
There's no predictive programming here, folks.
No. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Just a cute little story.
Keep in mind the date.
Yeah, keep in mind the date.
This took place October 18th, 2019. We're coming up on 4 years. If anything you can remember took place within the last 3 and 4 years,
exactly.
Keep that in mind.
So the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, in partnership with the World Economic Forum, ding, 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 and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, ding, 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 hosted an event 201, a high-level pandemic exercise on October 18th, 2019 in New York. The exercise illustrated areas where public-private partnership will be necessary during the response to a severe pandemic in order to diminish large-scale economic and societal consequences. In recent years, the world has seen a growing number of epidemic blah, blah, blah. I don't want to read all this because I want to play this video. All right.
But skip on down.
Okay.
Is this the third? Yeah, right here. Okay. Start here, Event 201.
All right, you read that while I'm doing this.
Event 201 was a 3.5-hour pandemic tabletop exercise. Now, note those words, tabletop exercise, that simulated a series of dramatic, scenario-based, facilitated discussions confronting the difficult, true-to-life dilemmas associated with the response to a hypothetical but scientifically plausible pandemic. It involved 15 global businesses, government, public health leaders were players in the simulation exercise that highlighted unresolved real-world policy and economic issues that could be solved with sufficient political will,
think about
financial investment, and attention now and in the future. Roll down just a little bit. The exercise consisted of pre-recorded news broadcasts, live staff
and we're going to show that to you,
and moderated discussions, and on and on. We're going to show you a little bit of that.
Yeah, and I love what Iron Fist Dave says. Glad you got your Spitfire with you tonight. It's going to be good.
Iron Fist Dave.
So you must be Spitfire. They just labeled you Spitfire, Sandy.
Okay, come on, I like it. Anybody got one better?
Yeah,
let's have it.
All right, so let's look at this because this is the actual event. Okay, this is what we just read, and I'm going to show you the actual event.
And let's just throw the word out there again, predictive programming.
Right.
If you're not familiar with it, there's some unwritten weird rule they have to show you or tell you before they do it.
Yep.
And this was part of that.
Yep. All right, so let's watch a few minutes of this. I'm sure I'm getting
on behalf of our center and our partners, the World Economic.
By the way, this is not somebody's take on it. This is the actual event.
This is the tabletop exercise, if you're familiar with that term.
Everybody that you're seeing in this video are the actual people that put this on. This is not actors portraying that. This is it.
Forum and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to our audience here in New York,
close attention,
as well as our larger virtual audience participating online today. The Event 201 scenario is fictional. Today's scenario is going to simulate meetings of a multi-stakeholder group called the Pandemic Emergency Board.
We're at the start of what's looking like it will be a severe pandemic. And there are problems emerging that can only be solved by global business and governments working together.
There's been some conspiracy theories that are around about
the
potential that pharmaceutical companies or the UN have released this for their own benefit.
And maybe this is a time for us to showcase some cases where we are able to bring forward some bad actors and leave it before the courts to decide whether they have actually spread some fake news.
A new coronavirus. Infected people got a respiratory illness with symptoms ranging from
This was a fake news broadcast that they played at this tabletop exercise. Keeping in mind, this was October 2019, when everything you're seeing now, all of the scenarios that they're laying out that we need to be ready for, was October 2019.
mild flu-like signs to severe pneumonia.
In related news, a significant demand for personal protective equipment like N95 masks and gloves are on the rise. Patients are overwhelming healthcare facilities. People are avoiding public spaces out of fear of infection and in compliance with public health recommendations. Our U.S. affiliate has just released polling results on public expectations for a vaccine, and 65% of those polled are eager to take the vaccine, even if it's experimental.
I am not optimistic about having the vaccine in time to be relevant during this pandemic.
With enough money and political will, anything is possible.
Penalties have been put in place for spreading harmful falsehoods, including arrests.
If the solution means controlling and reducing access to information, I think it's the right choice.
What exactly are the risks and benefits of staying home from work? Absolutely, we need to save lives, but we literally cannot afford a heavy-handed response that suffocates our economy.
The world saw large-scale protests and in some places riots. This led to violent crackdowns in some countries and even martial law. The public lost trust in their respective administration. Economists say the economic turmoil caused by such a pandemic will last for years. The societal impacts, the loss of faith in government, the distrust of news, and the breakdown of social cohesion could last even longer.
Wow.
Now, we certainly didn't see martial law here, but the poor people of China.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually Australia and some other places saw something very close to martial law.
If it's true what was said, some people were bolted into their homes.
Yeah.
Doors welded shut in China.
Yeah.
We can't prove that. I certainly heard that more than once. But come on, guys. Nothing had happened. There wasn't a hint of anything when this tabletop exercise
I don't know
took
about
place.
you, and I don't know about the Big Picture family, but when they had that fake news thing, and then when the people sitting around the table started talking, it sounded like the actual news.
I know.
During the last wine that we just went through. They were saying the exact things
and if you
that we went through.
agree with what he just said, then you have to take pause and think, what?
Yeah, right. But then, Sandy, let's move quickly because we got a lot of ground to cover because that was 2019.
Yeah. Alicia, while we're talking and moving on, can you post those dates and just repost that entire comment that you said about masking earlier? And it's way up there.
Okay.
If she can repost it, we need to note that.
Okay. All right. So what we want to show you now, the same website, the Johns Hopkins University tabletop, that was 2019.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Look here.
Here's another tabletop exercise called Catastrophic Contagion.
Yep.
And I promise you, this is one of the big nights that I'm glad we're on Rumble.
Did you note the year?
Because we may not make it on this one.
Did you note the year 2022, I believe?
I haven't got down to it yet. The Catastrophic Contagion.
I can tell you it is. Let me just, while we're on this.
Do you want me to take this off?
No. These are not the only two tabletop exercises. Going all the way back to 2001, you had a tabletop exercise, and you can find this for yourself on this very website that he will add into the description. Dark Winter, 2001. Atlantic Storm, 2005.
Wow.
Clade X, 2018. Event 201, 2019, and Catastrophic Contagion, 2022. These are tabletop exercises or simulation exercises. Now, there is something known as a LARP, a live action role play. Some of you may be familiar with that term in another aspect, but they are actual live exercises with people that have initiatives that they're out on the ground or maybe inside buildings doing.
Yep.
And Jade Helm was such an exercise in the year 2015. And you can find out more about, I think it hasn't been scrubbed, but I think there's less information out there about Jade Helm now than was. But we're focusing right now on these last two tabletop exercises, Event 201 and Catastrophic Contagion.
So I'm going to say this, that you can go back and watch this again, and because that might have been too much for you to catch. Write all that down and go back and research it for yourself, because when we see what just happened in what we just showed you and what we're about to show you now, and then it makes sense that all the tabletop exercises are trying to tell you what's coming. It may not be in that same short time frame, but that's their plan. So let's get into this before we run out of time.
And let's touch on this real quick. Alicia, I don't know if you have rock solid information, but she's saying they're going to do the masks starting about September 15th and then recommend you an improved vax September 15th through October 31st.
That's right alongside, Alicia, what I've been told and what I have read and what I've been told. And quite frankly, nobody likes to quote the tinfoil hat Alex Jones, but Alex Jones was the first one to say that his sources in the White House were saying that it was going to begin to roll out mid-September. So you're confirming exactly what Alex Jones said. Like I said, I'm not endorsing everything he says, but you know what? He's had a pretty good track record lately.
Well, September 15th is really not that far away.
It's not. So the Johns Hopkins Center for Health and Security, in partnership with the WHO and, there it is again, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, conducted something called Catastrophic Contagion, a pandemic tabletop exercise at the Grand Challenges annual meetings in Brussels, Belgium on October 23rd, 2022. Now, I want to say something that's just unbelievable. This was a pandemic exercise in the middle of the tail end of a pandemic. Okay, while we're still in the wham.
Well, you got to get out there ahead of it.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking? You can't be, no, you got to be out there in front of things.
The extraordinary group of participants consisted of 10 current and former health ministers and senior public health officials from Senegal, Rwanda, Nigeria, Angola, Liberia, Singapore, India, Germany, as well as Bill Gates was there, co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The exercise simulated a series of WHO Emergency Health Advisory Board meetings addressing a fictional, and I want to say this, YouTube, did you hear me say those words? Fictional. I'm not saying it's real. I'm saying it's fictional, because it's got to be fictional, because that's what they said it was. They said it was fictional, and I believe them that it's fictional, okay? A fictional pandemic set in the near future. Participants grappled with how to respond to an epidemic located in one part of the world that then spread rapidly, sounds familiar, becoming a pandemic with a higher fatality rate than wah-wah. So while we're in the wah-wah, they're doing a tabletop exercise to prepare us for something worse than the wah-wah. So let's just go ahead and play this right here. And by the way, this right here may get us flagged, Sandy, because this video is pretty much scrubbed from YT.
That's right. They gave you a run for your money finding this one.
Yeah, I had to go over to the competition, over to Rumble, to even find this video, because I had used it. I remember when I used it back several months ago, that was one of my first videos to get flagged.
Can I just give a special shout out at this moment? Our youngest daughter, Baby Rach, is watching, and I'm super excited.
She is? She's watching?
Rock on,
wow,
sister.
Look at you, Rach. I got to do this for you, Rach. That's for my daughter. That's for my daughter. She's watching. All right, here we go. So this is the video that they showed in the new tabletop exercise that happened in 2022.
Officials in 2 Latin American countries alerted the WHO of several outbreaks of a new infectious disease that's mysteriously appearing across the region. Severe epidemic enterovirus respiratory syndrome.
You were all over that.
I was all over that.
How many months ago?
That was probably 7 months ago. And I'll say this, for those that are Mike from Around the World fans, that's all I'm going to say.
2025, over the past 6 weeks.
I love you, Mike.
I don't know if they knew what you meant by that. You bested Mike on that one.
Yeah, I broke the news before you, Mike. Mike, I appreciate it. I'm glad I could help you, Mike.
Alone, there have been 500 confirmed or suspected cases reported. The virus could cause a severe pandemic if early containment and mitigation efforts are not successful.
The pandemic in this type of situation and trend would be a risk for the global health security.
Pandemics are inherently political, financial, and so much broader.
We have not spoken on the leadership in country. And I think that we need to be also very careful. We cannot decide a lot of things without the leaders be involved and agree on that.
There is no substitute for national leadership.
It's important to support the local response or the national response.
Training those that are in these areas first, enabling them with the tools, protecting them, and if needs be, regional solidarity first.
At this stage, communication is key, and communication should include not just scientists with data, but also social, religious, and political leaders.
Trust. This is an essential issue, and trust was broken among countries, between populations and healthcare systems, between healthcare systems and governments.
I'm very sorry to say that in 2025, we need to strengthen the health system.
WHO needs to be a voice for the voiceless.
Did you hear that? The WHO needs to be a voice for the voiceless. Let's not forget that we covered right here on The Big Picture that the WHO just introduced an addition to the treaty that every country in the World Health Organization signed on, including my country, America, that would give powers, executive override powers to the WHO to override constitutional freedoms in times of catastrophe.
Until all of us are safe.
As of today, there have been an estimated 1 billion cases worldwide, with more than 20 million deaths, including nearly 15 million children. Countless millions are alive, but left with paralysis or brain damage. The most successful countries are those which invested in preparedness and trained for this moment years in advance. This included having full-time pandemic preparedness and response teams, which conducted detailed operational planning and routinely tested those plans through exercises and drills. If more countries had participated and heeded the guidance, the toll might have been much less.
Wow. Now you ask yourself, you watched the first one that was in 2019, and you lived through what you just lived through. Yep. Almost exactly like the first tabletop. This is the second tabletop that happened in 2022.
Right.
All I'm going to say for the algorithm out there is I'm just asking the question, should we not be anticipating some or most of what we just saw? That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let you say what you want to say. I'm saying that's all I'm going to say.
I think we can leave that on the table, and you can decide for yourself.
I think that's a good point.
Because if it's left up to them, they're going to let you see pretty soon.
Pretty soon. Now, Sandy, as we go forward, because we're about halfway through this program tonight, we need to take people back and remind them of way back. I don't remember what year Daddy Bush was president.
Oh, you going in the Wayback Machine?
I'm going in the Wayback Machine. When was Daddy Bush president?
Reagan?
Came after Reagan.
So he was 80 to 88, so
yeah.
He would have been inaugurated 89.
Yeah, because
he only served one.
Clinton won in 92, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct.
So he had during this time, Daddy Bush got on television, and you'll notice it's sort of like watching a VHS tape. It's a grainy video. This is before HD video. And he told us something that we had never heard before. And I got news for you.
Something he would become famous for?
He would become famous for. And I got news for you. For those of you out there that think this is a Democrat thing, this is a Democrat and a Republican thing. People on both sides of the aisles are all in on most of this stuff. Okay, so it's called the UNI Party. All right? But now...
Yeah, why do you think we have terms like rhino?
Yeah, exactly.
Republican in name only.
Right.
Supposed to be a conservative.
Right.
Same team, different shirt.
So we're going to watch about 30 seconds of a video of Daddy Bush addressing the nation. And it's only 30 seconds. I want you to pay close attention to his wording and then imagine where our world has gone since the late 80s and the early 90s.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
All of what we can.
Wow. A promise with a great United Nations that can help us achieve a new world order.
Oh, and we will. We will achieve our goals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
Mark it.
They're letting you know that they will, and you can't stop them. But now watch this. They may achieve their goals, but we got kingdom goals too.
Yes.
And we're going to achieve our kingdom goals. So don't you think that we're falling for this and we're scared to death.
Mm-hmm.
They can do what they're going to do. There's some things we can stand up against and stop, some things we can't stop, but they can't stop us either. Okay?
Right.
All right. So look, these are, I want to just tell you right now, you know, you ever looked at a YouTube video and you saw a little fact check with that little blue box down there, whether it's about the wham-wham or it's about the climate or whatever? We're hitting every one of them tonight. So, I mean, I may have about 5 of those little blue boxes down there because you realize that you can't say what he just said. Those 3 words, if you say those, you get fact checked. If you say the Great Reset, you get fact checked. If you say the wham-wham, you get fact checked. So I'm just going to go ahead and say them all. But
kicking over every sacred
every
cow they have, right?
But I want to tell you what a new world order looks like. Let me take you forward in this little video here, and I apologize for the music that's so loud in the background. I wish they wouldn't have done that, the guy that I'm highlighting this video. But it's some really good content here. And I want to show you what that NWO looks like, okay? This is where they're talking about taking us. And, of course, you'll see that you'll identify this immediately.
Somebody said secret societies. I do believe he belonged to the Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
As well as George W. Bush.
I was about to say his son did as well. And by the way, notice that this video has the fact check on it. So that's what our video is probably getting even as we speak. But now I want to show you what it looks like. The words that you need to understand is order. Order means control. Now, you may think that's communism. Have we not waken up at least to the fact to know that what is happening there is happening here? Because we have people running in powerful positions right now that are in powerful positions that are at least socialist, maybe even communist, and that they admire. Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum says he admires China. So let's look at China and let's look at what the China surveillance system looks like. And I promise you it's coming, and I promise you much of it is already here.
Yeah, you say New World Order. China calls that Tuesday.
Yep.
That's just a Tuesday in China.
Exactly. That's good, baby. All right, so watch this.
In this talk, I will talk what me and my team at Carnegie Mellon can infer from just looking at a small section of your face.
This is the new world.
In fact, we will show we can perform reliable face recognition where many current systems will simply fail.
You're about to mess me up in a minute. I know.
So this is a talk at the World Economic Forum recently.
Face recognition and iris recognition have always made a huge splash in Hollywood movies such as Mission Impossible and Minority Report. Here, you see Tom Cruise entering the gap and being identified through his iris and getting personalized ads. You may think this is Hollywood science fiction, but this is actually science fact based on technology we have built here in my lab at Carnegie Mellon.
Biomarkers.
This is our system and can capture someone's iris up to 12 meters away. It will detect, track the person, capture the iris, even if they're wearing glasses. We have to develop smart AI technology that can perform reliable face recognition despite these low-quality images. This is our smart AI face detector. It can actually find faces that are masked, extreme off-angle, headgear, extreme low resolution.
They're constantly monitored by facial recognition cameras that are able to instantly put a face to a name.
Yeah,
now the Chinese are also ranked, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good.
This is
Around
their
the 500
social
mark
credit
is not.
score.
For now, the number is a sort of bank credit rating, keeping track of everyone's spending habits.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
It forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it, and anyway, we don't have a choice.
Watch what they do.
But in an effort to keep all of its subjects in line, Beijing is taking the system a step further in 2020. It's aggregating data gathered by banks, private companies, and the state to rate if someone's a good or bad citizen.
This is when they went public that they were doing it in 2020. So they was already doing it. But they admitted that in 2020 they were aggregating, AI was aggregating their bank information, all their information on their job, their social posts, everything to create this score. But I want you to see what happens when you don't do what you're supposed to do. This is chilling.
By using the most data possible, the so-called big data, the system will play an important role in rebuilding a moral society.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb. Their financial situation, spending habits, career, even behavior on social media. Criticizing the government online or displaying outward signs of wealth is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. A good score brings benefits, but people with low scores lose rights. The cinema names and shames people considered untrustworthy, plastering their details, even their addresses across big screens.
It's a matter of principle. Those people have to be condemned.
Those people aren't honest, so they have to pay the price.
It's only right to pay your debts. You have to blacklist those that don't.
The Supreme Court has created a blacklist for so-called bad citizens, those whose ratings have dropped to 0. On it are companies, but also 23 million people to date. Among them is this journalist Liu Hu.
What's this?
He got a little too close to uncovering corruption among high-profile party members. After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. He only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
That tells me I'm still on the blacklist.
Punished because he's been branded untrustworthy by the state.
Wow.
Yep. 1,000 points a lot. I was going to mention that too.
Yeah.
So there you go, Jesus Freak. You got it. It's all over it.
Yeah. So
public shaming is one thing, but when you can't get a passport, you can't ride the train, you can't rent an apartment, can't do anything, that's when the real pain comes in.
Yeah. And that's exactly, don't think for a moment that is not being planned in your country, whatever your country is, wherever you're watching this.
To ostracize you, to push you into submission.
Yes. Yeah. So where are we going with this? Okay, why did we make this show tonight? Because we can sense, and now this may date this program a little bit, but I do believe this program that we're making tonight is going to be a program that can last for a while, because people are you're going to want to share this with your family. You're going to want to send people here to open up their eyes to what has already happened and what is coming. But this is what I'm saying. This may date it a little bit, because at the time of this recording, we just went through the Maui situation that happened with the great fires, the horrible fires that happened there. On the ground, they are putting up fencing. They are banning media. They are banning drones, no fly zones, all this. Why? Because they are already tourists.
No tourists.
Yeah. On the other side of the island, they can come, but they can't come on that side.
In a place that survives on tourism to a degree.
Yeah, exactly. Why are they putting this up and hiding it? Why are they not allowing media in? Why are they not allowing even their own citizens to see what they're doing behind these fences? Is because they are already rebuilding it. They are already claiming it.
Is this your speculation?
This is speculation, but this is what people are telling me and what I'm seeing, that they have already begun the process, because it was back in January they declared that Maui would be a smart city and a smart county, is what they call it. And so they're building in that direction. Now, I want to say this. that what it really is the expedite, what we've been trying to tell you on the show for months now. They have to accelerate Agenda 2030.
Yep.
They put, how many times have we said the number 2030 on the show?
Did you say something about, is it eminent domain?
Eminent domain, back in July of this year, Hawaii passed a law to make eminent domain so much easier. And of course, you know what that means. You're a very educated audience, where the government can just deem that they need your property more than you, make a lowball offer on it, and you got to take it. And that's what's happening. But I want to tell you that back, I want to say this was 7 months ago. I made a show, and by the way, all these videos, especially the videos the big picture videos, are all going to be linked down here later this evening, where you can go back and watch the entire videos. Some of the stuff will be dated. A lot of this stuff is very relevant. This show is called Agenda 2030 that I did back 7 months ago. And I want to show you something because there's a segment of that show, Sandy, and I mean, I look a little different back then, even 7 months ago. I had a little better lighting, got a little better lighting now than I did then. But this is something that I want to show you about Klaus Schwab. I'll show you 2 clips off of this, because this is Klaus Schwab telling us, make sure I got it in the right place here, about the Great Reset. I believe I've got it right. Let me see. If not, I'll back it up. The Great Reset. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Watch. So this is a video that they released at the World Economic Forum during what we just went through around the world. Now listen. Notice what it says. Our world has changed. Notice what it's showing. Showing everything that we just went through. Storms, pollution, industry. Of course they're going to show that. Our fragility is exposed. Of course they're showing death, protests, riots. They'll show that in a minute.
Are you serious?
Our systems need a reset. Our systems. And I'm going to show you tonight what the systems are that they are planning to reset right before our eyes. Begins, the next level begins in 2023. 7 years to get to their agenda, 2030. Y'all pay attention, y'all, because you're going to need to help some other people. You're going to need to show this video to some other people and show them, because they're going to think that you're just a conspiracy theorist. But you need to show them. This comes straight from the World Economic Forum's website. This is their pie in the sky. You see what it's called, the Great Pastor Paul's in the house. We'll say that one more time. Look at Pastor Paul. Look at here. What? Are you serious?
And when you leave us tonight, he's got a double header.
Double header tonight.
You need to get on over there.
I'm telling you, you better. I know where we're going to be. We're going to leave right from here live.
That's where I am every Thursday night.
What an honor to have Pastor Paul jumping in here with us tonight. But what I'm showing you here is that this was shown at the World Economic Forum during the wah-wah, when everybody in the world is gripped in fear, trying to seize that fear of what is coming. Yeah. Now, Sandy, if you will, just share your heart while I work on this to get to the next clip, because this is going to be something right here that they're going to want to see.
All right. Well, we've heard about social credit scores, the New World Order. I think we've all come to the conclusion that we're under attack and that the government is not going to be coming to help you. If Maui is any kind of example to any of you, especially if there's something of great value, such as these people had, the land, the property, and they want it, forget it.
Yep.
Apparently, they don't mind snuffing you out and getting rid of you.
Absolutely.
And leaving no evidence in the wake.
Let's look what it looks like here. Same show. Can never say his name right. He said at the World Economic Forum that we have now can hack human beings. This is what we are going. The next wave of hacking is under the skin.
What's his name?
How are they going to get it in there?
Urari.
Wrong.
So you know the line, you will own nothing and you will be happy? Well, this is the pillar where this could be playing out.
Right.
In multiple articles on their own website and elsewhere, the WEF predicts a world where people will no longer own most of the things they use in life.
Yep.
Instead, through a sharing economy, items like clothing and cooking equipment will be owned by your government and delivered to you when you need them. Well, the next step would be to develop a secure digital currency that everybody can use. It's kind of like crypto, except the future digital currency proposed wouldn't be decentralized. It would be completely controlled by your government. And this is called the Central Bank Digital Currency, or CBDC.
CBDC. These are terms you're going to... CBDC. Now, we've talked about that.
You've heard that more than a few times on this show, right?
Yeah. So it seems like an eternity ago that this was 7 months ago. But 7 months ago, we were telling you people are trying to prepare you for the CBDC. Well, since that time, we've got FedNow that's come out. We've got BRICS that has created their own.
BRICS is growing.
Yeah. I mean, think about what's happened since then. It's insane when you think about it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Got it.
Let's watch one more thing from old Klaus Schwab here. This is just a little bit of clip here. This is because remember the term that he came up with? What was it? About
polycrisis?
Polycrisis. He said there, we need to invent a new word called polycrisis. I was actually with Paul Begley in Orlando. We did a show in his studio there at his church and on a Sunday Night Live.
That's right, you did.
And we did a show on the polycrisis. And that was during the WAN. He came up with this term. The polycrisis means multiple crises all at the same time. How do you deal with a polycrisis? And this is one of the things that nobody really talks about, that Klaus Schwab keeps talking about, and he keeps throwing in there, and it's just a few seconds.
Still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack.
A comprehensive cyber attack. I want you to hear what he says will happen when this comprehensive cyber attack does come and what he compares it to. Listen.
Which would bring to a complete halt.
Listen.
To the power supply.
To the power supply.
Transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance.
Did you hear what he... A small disturbance. What we just went through, the WAN.
So
the lockdowns is a small disturbance.
We were talking with someone today about fear, how fear is a great motivator to get people to do things that maybe they wouldn't normally want to do on their own. So let's just take his example here as cyber attacks, cyber crime that grip people with fear. You know, where's my money? Can I get my money? Is my money going? Is it coming back? How can I do transactions as a means to push everyone towards digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, and so forth, to do away with those pesky dollar bills and paper currency.
Oh, those pesky dollar bills. I mean, now BRICS has basically made the U.S. dollar of none effect. The economy in America is in shambles. The economy of the world is in shambles. It's almost like we need a savior. And of course we do, and we have one. His name is Jesus. But there is a world being set up right now to introduce a false savior. And one of the greatest.
Boy, these folks are just about primed for that moment, right?
Yeah, they are definitely primed for and you'll identify immediately the face on your screen there, Mr. Stan DEYO. And Mr. Stan DEYO was on our program one night, and Sandy just goes there.
Exactly what we're talking about, where we are in this place in history. What is disclosure? Because we haven't really laid that out. So
we've talked about it among ourselves and with our family, but on our show here, we've really not rolled out the term disclosure and what that means. And you're saying this is not just a term that we're using. This is a laid out plan that the people of the world need to understand is in the works and is about to be revealed.
Oh, yes, definitely. And look, as I said a few minutes ago, the world government's a good idea as long as you got trustworthy people handling it. So the way they're going to get around this is they're going to have quote unquote alien beings come with technology to help us save our planet and save ourselves. And we're so close to that, as you see. That disclosure really means switching over from our normal type governments into a world government. And like this pandemic virus and vaccine passport and the treaty for the pandemic treaty, these are subtle ways, not so subtle that people awake, but subtle ways to get us to accept control of our country and us by a multinational or global power source. Wow. And as I say, they're not going.
It's pushing us into certain.
So he makes it very clear of the agenda of this talk of UFOs and disclosure and all that is timed perfectly, Sandy. It's timed perfectly. How many generations have people been talking about is there life on other planets, and everybody just laughs them off. But now we just come right out of all this. We gave up our freedoms. We've got a world that's ready. We're scanning our eyeballs in orbs around the world. We're doing all this kind of stuff. And all this, and here comes another wah-wah, worse than the last one. Here comes fires. Here comes earthquakes. Here comes hurricanes. Here comes all this stuff. Somebody needs to come and help us. Lo and behold, here comes the false messiahs called UFOs. Yep. Silence. I can't be the only one talking.
I was waiting. Was that a pregnant pause? I think I was.
That was a pregnant pause.
I was waiting for something.
Yeah, no, that was cue for you.
Okay. Absolutely. If we're not already primed, we're about to be. I'm speaking of the world stage, because as many things has already been thrown at us, and as many stages have been set. It's not going to take a whole lot more for something crazy to come on to the scene.
Yep.
And people are going to be ready to accept it.
Absolutely. And, the last thing I want to show you is this. This was a show that we did. Like I said, I'm going to link all these down here. This was 4 months ago. And this was probably one of our more popular shows that we've done. And it is very much a show. I'm telling you, this show you need to watch again. And if you ain't never watched it, you need to watch it and you share it with everybody you know.
I was waiting for Jimmy. I'm sorry.
All right. Oh, yeah. We got to bring Jimmy in. Where's Jimmy at? Jimmy.
Uncle Jimmy. He's here. Live and in the flesh.
I can't believe I forgot Jimmy before I brought in Stan. Jimmy!
Exactly. That was
Supernatural AI.
That was that pregnant pause I was talking about. Oh. Hello, Ricky. Thanks for jumping in here, Ricky.
What's up, End Time Headlines? Ricky Scaparo.
Headlines in the house.
We had Paul Begley. We got Ricky Scaparo.
Who are we?
My God, we just need to drop the mic and go home right now.
We need to do a actual mic drop.
Woo, boom.
You can take us on, Jesus.
But look, baby, I didn't know your pregnant pause you was looking for Jimmy. I got so much stuff I was doing. You should have told me you needed Jimmy.
Can you not read my mind?
Oh, wow.
By now.
That's another show.
Anyway.
Wow, is that another show? Yeah. Okay, so Jimmy come in a little late. We already talked about the UFOs, but this other show, before we go off the air tonight, I want to encourage everybody to make sure you watch that. Like, it's not there now, but it will be there when we get off the air. I'll make sure I put it there. It is going to be linked to all these videos that we've shown tonight, so you can watch them in the entirety. But this one is a video about Switzerland, and it's called "This Place is a Portal to Demons." And let me tell you something, y'all. It is actually. Can you believe this? In Switzerland, they have 375,000 Sandy underground bunkers.
It's too hard to
that we know of. 375,000 underground bunkers.
How is this accomplished? I mean,
right. They started doing this in World War II, and they've been doing it ever since.
Or,
yeah, I know where you're going.
They were there from a very, very long time ago, and they just reclaimed them.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's also the place where Davos is, where the World Economic Forum is, on one side of Switzerland, and on the other side of Switzerland is the thing that, for some crazy reason, there's so much stuff going on in the world. Nobody's even talking about CERN anymore. Nope. It's like CERN.
Exactly.
Did you think about it? What's the last time you saw somebody do a new show on CERN? It's like CERN has gone quiet. Yeah. Why has CERN gone quiet? I believe, Sandy, CERN has gone quiet because they have ripped the veil. I believe they have tapped in. Who
are you?
I believe they have.
What?
I believe they have.
You just take it a notch higher every single week. You're talking like me. That's my talk.
Well,
Stop taking my talk. That's things I say.
What? You didn't say it. I gave you the opportunity. So
I
think it's not by chance that CERN decided to pick that spot to tunnel underground. Listen, in a nation that is already known to tunnel underground, no telling what is underneath the ground of Switzerland throughout the nation. And now we have an entity that is trying to pursue a God particle, declare themselves to be God, to try to disprove God. And they are probably creating with force, with what they're doing with this collider, they are affecting dimensions. Dimensions are spilling over into each other. Many people that have studied CERN, many people that have worked there and have family members that work there, believe that they have already either opened that portal to the demonic realm, to the spirit realm, or they are, that's why it's 99.99999, because they don't want to finish it, because they know if they go that one last step, they will open the portal to demon spirits on a level that has never been seen before.
When was this video?
Some have even said that they are scared to death that they have been in communication with these demons in this other realm. And they have been asking them to not harm them if they open this portal. Let's be friends. Do not kill us when we open this. But they want so bad to tap into that. But they believe they've seen the evil that's there. This is not just hype stuff here, y'all. Many, many, many people have said that they are witnessing that. Underneath that ground is saturated with the occult. That ground is saturated. And then of all places, this idea of how to trap the world in a web called the World Wide Web was birthed underground in a lab, underground in Switzerland. Mind-boggling. Wow. That man that you're seeing on the screen was in the basement of the CERN when CERN was being built. And he, if you've not watched it, spoiler alert, I'm going to go ahead and tell you because this is the big part of the video that you need to watch anyway. He invented the World Wide Web in the belly of CERN.
Under direction from something else, maybe?
Exactly. So while let's not forget the web that has trapped the world was invented. Absolutely search. Just go to Google and search. Where was the World Wide Web invented? Not the internet, that's the data, but the ability to do what we're doing right now, to process the ones and zeros from data into pictures and images. Who invented it? It will tell you it's CERN.
Okay.
We got 3 minutes.
I am messed up because you were talking about
Sorry. Jimmy,
you already had your time. It's our time now.
Sorry.
Go back in the closet till next week. You were talking about dimensions merging.
Yeah.
You said 4 months ago?
Actually, 4.5 months ago.
And then like in the last week or so, you were talking about dimensions merging on Sunday.
Yes, I was.
Which I thought, I forgot all about this because I thought that's a brilliant way to describe what is probably happening already.
Wow.
Okay, so I saw Alicia and Ricky say the Mist 2.0.
Yeah.
Is that the famous scene where the person is looking through, what do you say? And they can see the entity on the other side of this.
I have no idea. We got 30 seconds. So
anyway,
we'll come back to that. But what a show tonight! If you have not already become a partner with us, we've got a new thing on our website. If you'll go there, for a gift of any amount, whether it be monthly, one time, or even an annual gift or something to our ministry, you'll get a free copy of our book. Of course, we'd like for it to be cover the cost of the book, but whatever you can do to help our ministry, 100%. When you click on it, you'll notice that it goes to a site that my publisher has set up, Leadership Books. Leadership Books, all proceeds go directly to Larry Ragland Ministries. You can do a one-time, monthly, or yearly gift, and then you can go through PayPal or actually just use a card. When you do that, 100% of the proceeds go towards our television and our media ministry, and that will help us tremendously, and you will get a copy of our book as well for that gift of any amount. So thank you for joining us tonight, Sandy. What a show.
What a show.
What a show. I believe everybody needs to watch this again, and you need to send it to everybody you know.
So this is what it feels like to have a 1 hour show. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while since we forgot. End Time Headlines, Ricky said it's a movie where the military conducted experiments and accidentally opened up a portal to the underworld. Oh. We need to go watch that. We've never watched that. Stranger Things, exactly, Lisa Marie. Stranger Things. There ain't no doubt about it.
Things for sure.
Ain't no doubt about it. We got to go. We got to go watch Mike from around the world.
Get on over there and see Pastor Paul. He's got a doubleheader tonight.
We ain't woke.
Nope.
But you know what we are?
Certainly awake.
Where's my exit video? Where's it at? Certainly awake. There it is. Bye, y'all.
Good night.